This is Morelia, the capital and largest city of Michoacan state. Some sort of a celebration going on there. This is the center of the historical district. Got a walk sign, so let's go for it. The main plaza and cathedral, built by the Spanish, who arrived in the 1520s. A beautiful, classic Mexican city, little visited by foreigners. I haven't yet seen any obvious foreign travelers since I've been here, but I just arrived yesterday. Came from the coast, Ixtapa. Nice timing with the church bells. I'm just here for one day, flying out tomorrow. I will explain my travel plans in a few minutes. Let's see how close of a look we can get here. Just phenomenal. So massive. It looks like it's open. And let's see what this is all about. Seems kind of important. Traffic is blocked off, so that's nice. There was lots of traffic going along here yesterday evening. Kind of seems like maybe a school event. It's mostly young folks. And so you can see all of the old historical brick buildings. This area has been inhabited for many, many centuries before the Spanish arrived. But as I mentioned, in 1520, they came and they conquered. And when
lo que hace la revolución pacífica imposible harán inevitable la revolución violenta. Buenas tardes tengan todos ustedes, compañeros normalistas, egresados y público en general. Hoy 4 de mayo, ya un año de las
4 de mayo.
agresiones sufridas hacia el sector normalista.
Tomorrow
Hoy
is 5 de
conmemoraremos
mayo.
esos trágicos
I
sucesos.
kind of forgotten about that.
Por ello, se han preparado algunos números culturales por parte de la Organización de Normales Oficiales del Estado de Michoacán, o Morelia. Nos deleita con una ronda titulada Los Dulces. Un fuerte aplauso.
So there's a lot to see in the city. The various cathedrals and older buildings just all throughout here. Very interesting, and it really makes you just think about the Spanish invasion. As I travel throughout Mexico and see more and more of the country and Latin America in general, then I'm just kind of continuously blown away by the Spanish presence, occupation, invasion of this part of the world, Latin America, and it really astounds the imagination to think about how this country, fairly small in Europe, traveled across a vast, vast ocean and then came to this land populated by people who were pretty well developed, the Mayan cultures and Aztec, and there were people all throughout this part of the world, very advanced cultures, building massive, impressive structures, Teotihuacan near Mexico City, all of the Mayan pyramids and everything, all kinds of incredible architecture before the Spanish arrived, Machu Picchu, and very, well organized, developed societies, and yet the Spanish managed to somehow come here and just take over and establish their culture all throughout this land. I'm not by any means, excusing what they did, because it was just seriously brutal occupation to a great extent. But at the same time, then, it is quite profound how they had the resources, the people, the money, and the initiative and everything to just come in here and just build these amazing buildings, massive, complex, that have stood the test of time for half millennia. It's exactly like 500 years since the Spanish came here. And all throughout Mexico, the center of many of the cities, most of the cities, is this kind of just very impressive architectural wonders. So let's wander around a bit more and see more of this very interesting, lively city. Very authentic and busy happening. So there it says Isuzu Puebla, and Puebla is another city that I wanted to visit. I was actually considering whether I should go to Puebla or here, and the bus was much easier. It was a 5-hour bus ride, direct, literally no stops from Ixtapa to here yesterday afternoon. And so I'll have to save Puebla for another time, because I'm catching that flight tomorrow. And so there are all these really pleasant shaded areas in front of the buildings. There is a plaque explaining what they're about that I will walk over to right now. And so one of the reasons that I wanted to come to Morelia is because of Pátzcuaro, which is about an hour away. When I was researching about Morelia, then I came across Pátzcuaro, and I was planning to visit it, and then just my plans changed a little bit, and I just have the one day here. It is an hour away by bus, plus the bus station is like 20 to 25 minutes away, and so it would have been kind of an intense travel day getting there and back, and I just decided to have a relaxing day. But Pátzcuaro is somewhere to consider going. Somebody had mentioned it in a comment that I came across as their favorite city of Mexico. right, let's walk over to the Morelia sign. It is just such a great layout of a city to have this big area at the center where people can gather. The parks, the wide open spaces, and the trees. The rest of the city as you come in is not nearly as picturesque. It sprawls out a lot. And so you can see Amor, Morelia, Amor, love, and a heart. And over here is that plaque explaining these areas here. The Matamoros portal. The origin of the portals goes back to the follow-up that 16th century builders, so 1500s, when the Spanish arrived, gave to the recommendations expressed in the ordinances issued by Philip II regarding the outline of cities in Hispanic America, one of which mentioned that all of the plaza and its surroundings and the 4 main streets arising from it should have portals because they are of much comfort for the dealers who usually concur here. So, assuming that there would be shops, stalls, and stuff all along here, and then the people manning the stalls wouldn't have to sit out in the sun all day. The portal is a semi-public space located at the front of the ground floor of the relevant buildings, which conform the built setting of the plazas or open spaces of the central area of a city with patrimonial value. All right, the action is back over there. They're like dancing around and stuff. So let's just wander around. I don't have specific plans of what to see. Just going to explore the general historical region, and as you can see, there's another park right there. It is all very lovely and impressive. Puebla, 5 de Mayo, 1862. The Serene font, or fountain I guess, was built in this place with ornamental purposes and according to the design of Colonel of Engineers Guillermo Udun de Serene, after in June of 1877 was demolished, etc., etc. The Serene Fountain. El Pueblo de Morelia, Natalio Vasquez Palares, 1913 to 1981. And it is getting hot. Middle of the afternoon. May 4th. Summer's on the way. It is gonna get hotter and hotter. However, yesterday evening there was actually a bit of a chill in the air. I think we must be up in elevation a bit for it to get cool in the evening at this time of year. Alright, so I'm going to wander down this way and turn around and head back towards the central area and go explore the other side, because it looks like the historical buildings are kind of fading out this way. But I just wanted to expand a little bit in terms of bringing up the Spanish history. First of all, it is just unavoidable because it is an integral part of Mexican history, in the same way that European, obviously, presence in North America is unavoidable. But there's a big difference in that at least one good thing about the Spanish presence here is that they left behind all of these amazing buildings that last for centuries and centuries and create a beautiful environment for the cities. Those plazas and parks and cathedrals and old buildings that is utterly lacking in the United States. There is one exception that comes to mind, and that is Santa Fe, New Mexico. And who built Santa Fe? The Spanish. Colorful street art here. I like the style. Pretty cool. And so American cities just do not have that same core at the center. I mean, there are certainly some places with plazas and churches and whatnot, but it really isn't the same. You especially have to experience it in the evening, yesterday evening. Then it just really comes alive. Families are about, kids playing, and it feels like a very welcoming and safe environment. Really don't get that same feeling, that same atmosphere in especially larger cities of the US. It's about 1 million population here, the capital and largest city of the state, and yet center of the city there is just this very just relaxed, easygoing, very nice environment to hang out and have a conversation and be with your family or your friends or teenagers going out, whatever. And so that just kind of sets the tone, the cultural center of so many of the Mexican cities. So a few of the things to see here: Jardín de las Rosas, I guess Rose Garden, Templo de la Merced, Jardín de los Niños Heroes, the Hero Kids, Templo de Cristo Rey, Jardín de la Sotaraña, Casa Museo Sitio de Morelos. So that is the main square again. I'm going to walk down this way, and hopefully I can be heard above this traffic here, but I mentioned that I was going to talk about my upcoming travel plans. So tomorrow I'm catching a flight to Tijuana. Hola! I have never been there in all of my times in Mexico, even though I'm from California. Been to Los Angeles, my family is from there. Been to San Diego, right across the border. So I wanted to see Tijuana. Also, there is a strategic traveling advantage, which is that now you have to get a COVID test, provide proof of a negative COVID test in order to fly back into the US. One of the reasons that I flew back to the US from Mexico back in January was that rule went into effect on January 26th. And so I flew back a few days before that so that I wouldn't have to bother with doing that test. I ended up taking the test soon thereafter, before I went to Alaska, and of course was negative. Amazing square here. And so I just didn't really want to take the test for the first time in Mexico, end of my long traveling adventure, and so I went back to the US. And this is my first time out of the US in several months since then. But if you walk across the border from Tijuana, you do not have to take that test, a COVID test. Only if you fly. But the land border is open, to the best of my understanding. I know people that have done it. And to the best of my understanding, then you don't need to have a negative COVID test. Wow, there's a really incredible mural up here. And so it's 2 good reasons to fly into Tijuana. And then I will head back to California from there, head back home to Northern California. Look at that. And then, when I get back, I'm going to get the vaccine. I'm going to get the second shot of the vaccine, because this whole Mexico trip was planned around getting the first shot right before I left, 2 days before I flew down here to Acapulco, then I got the first shot, the Pfizer vaccine. And then you have to get the second one 3 weeks later. And then 2 weeks after that, you are fully vaccinated and you can go to Europe. So Europe is finally announcing they're planning to open up. Greece is open now. You don't even need to have the vaccine. You can enter there with a COVID test, negative COVID test result right now, as I understand it. But May 14th, it will open up more. Americans are included in the allowance to go to Greece. It is a very short list, but Americans made that list in large part because of the vaccine being distributed more widely here. Really cool space here. You can imagine there must be musical events in here, or street food festivals, whatever. And so as for the vaccine, it is available now to everyone in the United States over 16. Of course, it is your choice whether or not you want to get the vaccine, but for travel, it is going to be very important for the coming year for sure. Hopefully not for very long, but we will see. Okay, I'm back at the main cathedral. Let me get over to the other side so that I'm showing some new territory.
Normales, oficiales del estado de Michoacán, les agradece su atención prestada a este pero significativo programa sociocultural, ya que cada normal se esforzó mucho y dedicó de su tiempo para presentarles a todos ustedes este cultural ya apreciado. Gracias.
Definitely kind of a young crowd here.
La verdad. Que dejen de molestar.
I think this is the same guy that was playing last night. Really good blues harmonica. I gave him 100 pesos yesterday. And so as for the vaccine, then I just thought that I would share my experience really quick. So I got it in the small town where my family lives, where I've been staying in between trips the last few months. It is free. It barely hurt, like I barely even noticed it. No side effects. Hola. Hola. However, my arm was really sore for like 36 hours. Afterwards, like nothing serious, just kind of strangely sore, and so that was it. And so when it comes to being a traveler over the next year or two, then being vaccinated is going to be a crucial thing that will make it a lot easier to travel to more places. Plus, I'm just not concerned about some sort of a health problem with the vaccine. I already have lots of vaccines. Got them when I was a kid. I got them before I went to India the first time. A whole series of 4, 5, 6 shots, something like that. And this is our best chance to make this pandemic go away faster with less mayhem than otherwise. For example, what's happening in India right now. So everyone has their own opinions about that, but anyways, I am glad that I am going to be done with that experience very soon, and then off to Europe. Super stoked. Probably Greece first. Not sure what he said there. But probably head to Greece first. As I said in a previous video, quite possibly my favorite country. And it is the perfect time to go there. End of May, early June. I'm sure that all summer it's going to be pretty quiet with less tourism, although with it opening up so publicly, welcoming in tourists, and it could get pretty busy, you know, like Mexico has been being open, one of the few countries that's been fully open throughout the pandemic. So we'll see. Looking forward to finding out what Europe is going to be like this summer. So even the manholes here are impressive. Comisión Federal de Electricidad, the Federal Commission of Electricity, Morelia, Michoacan, 1997. Okay, it's not like it's ancient or anything, but look at this. 3 kings. So I wonder, does that maybe reference like the 3 wise men or something from the Bible, or something else? And so I could see this massive structure down the street and thought that it would be a good place to end this video. And there's also a nice plaza here, another sign, Morelia. So is this a aqueduct? Wow, it just keeps going and going. Way down there. Incredible. And in very good condition. So when was that built? Beautiful fountain. Mexico is such a misunderstood and underrated country. There is just so much to see here. So varied. Some of the best beaches in the world, some of the most fascinating cities, the best food. Mexican is my favorite. And absolutely the nicest people you're gonna find, with, you know, issues of course. It is far from perfect, but it is really a ideal traveling place. Also affordable and easy to get around. Lots of buses, flights are cheap. And Mexico is now my second most visited country after India. 10 times to India, 8 times now to Mexico. And I'm sure that I'll be back for a 9th time sometime fairly soon. All right, got to see what's down at the end down here now. Looks like maybe the end of the whatever that is. I mean, such a phenomenal structure. I guess it's got to be an aqueduct. That's like the only thing it could really be. It's not wide enough to be like a train track or anything. El Aqueducto, the aqueduct. This beautiful aqueduct of pink quarry measures 1,810 meters, so more than a mile, and consists of 253 arches and 2 boxes of water. I guess that means maybe 2 different channels on the top there. Construction takes us to the days of the golden age of the former Valladolid. I've been to Valladolid in Spain. There's also another one in Mexico. And so that was the former name of Morelia, and then it was changed from Valladolid to Morelia. In 1785, Bishop Fray Antonio de San Miguel commanded to build an aqueduct with 2 purposes: to bring drinking water to the city, which was hit by a terrible drought for 2 years, and to provide work for the indigenous people of the region. The stone was transported from the village of Santa Maria, now part of the city, so it's fairly close by, and goes to the old Calle Real, today Madero Avenue. Looks like Governor Dr. Miguel Silva, 2nd of May, 1913, on a horse. Alright, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this tour of the lovely and very interesting Morelia. Take it easy. Coming next from Tijuana. Hasta luego.